I have the steps from my map class to database table diagram here. I have them moved over to this slide so we can look at them individually. The first step is going to be to add the tables to your diagram. So I have my class diagram that we're going to map over, and then I have an open diagramming tool called draw.io. And we are going to be using, if you look in the left-hand column, there is right above UML, we have entity relation. So we will be using the entity relation section of the diagramming elements. And we'll be mapping this over. So the first step that you can see here says create a table for each class except container only classes. And let's take a look at what it says here. So in step 1, let me zoom in a bit. Step 1 says create a table for each class except container only classes. So you can see I've just mapped this over so for clarity's sake, but you have this right here for your convenience. So I'm going to map over all of these tables except for container only classes. So let's identify the classes that we're going to be moving over. Person has several attributes. So this is one that we will map over. Person list has persons, but that is the only attribute it has, and this is a container class. So it is only going to have the one attribute that pertains to that person. So it's person list, it has a container of persons. So we would not map this over. Faculty has one attribute called office. So this is a container, this is a complex attribute, but it's not a container. So it is an instance of office, but it's not a container. It is just an instance. It's still just an attribute. So it's a complex attribute. So we would still map this over. Student has a container, but it also has another attribute. So we're going to map this one over as well. Section, this one obviously we're going to map over, has several attributes. It has the container class, right, or the container attribute, but we're still, but we can, as long as it isn't only a container attribute. So we're going to map this over, map that as a table, map course. These are all just single valued attributes. And section list, so it has multiple values in this attribute, right? So sections is a container, and there are no other attributes, so we will not be mapping that one. And same with course list. So that's my first step. I'm going to come over to course registration, my draw.io folder here, and I'm going to grab myself a table, and I'm just going to start mapping these out. Now, I'm going to give you some hints right now as to how to best edit these. Probably you guys will come up with faster ways because you'll use the tool and spend time figuring out how things work. But I have a certain way that I do things, and I'm always open to suggestions for how to do them better. So feel free to chat me those if you have any. So the first thing that I would do, I'm not going to do all of them. I'm going to show you how to do just one, and then I'll pause and finish mapping over just doing step 1. So let's take a look over here. The first one I will do, I'll just start right here at the top. We will map person over. So I'm just going to do person. Now that is my first step. It doesn't tell me to do anything else with that first step. The first step just says create a table for each class except container only classes. So I would go ahead and grab another one here, and then I would do another class. What was my next one? My next one would be faculty. So that's what I would do. I would come in here and map all. I wouldn't worry about the attributes yet. Just map over the tables that we want. I'm going to do that, and then we'll come back.